Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Welcome back to the rundown. We had little bit of a hiatus last week. Not necessarily because there was anything like actually important, but like Elden Ring's Shadow of the Earth Tree came out, and I told Brian straight up, we're not having an episode this week. It comes out the same day we're supposed to record. I'm sorry, like, like that, like it wasn't the only, it wasn't the biggest, but it was certainly a reason I didn't fucking kill myself back in November. So so definitely important enough to do that. So yeah.
And Evan is allowing me now to take off the week of October 11th so I may play Spartan Zero. So it's all even in my eyes.
Yeah. Like one, maybe two games a year where we're just gonna veg out. That's the mulligan. I think that taking time off for a video game release you're super excited about is a completely valid thing.
I'd be doing it with work if Christmas wasn't so close.
The fuck you mean if Christmas wasn't so close?
I'm saying in October, not for now. Yeah, if my thing was coming out now, I would have definitely asked off. I would have been like, yo, bro, I'm going to vacation in like Hawaii for a week, so can I get off, please?
Spartan Zero, is that a Halo game?
No, that's the Dragon Ball Z game.
I know. Yeah. All right,
but listen, I've been watching Budokai Tenkaichi 2 videos. I'm getting hyped.
I played Budokai Tenkaichi either 2 or 3. Whichever one of the ones that was on the PS2 back in the day.
This is number 4. This is the 4th game.
Are you hyped?
Are you crazy? Yes, I'm fucking hyped. I'm so hyped. Oh my god! And then I know I talked about this last week. Just let me fucking or 2 weeks ago. Just let me
go for it. Go for it.
They are doing what if scenarios that are player fully designed, and they give you access to like cutscenes and dialogue options and everything like that. And then you could upload it online and play people's fucking what if scenarios in the Dragon Ball universe, which is pretty much like Xenoverse, but it was always just released as DLC straight from Bandai Namco, and now we actually get to create it. So I love that. That's fucking hype.
Yeah. Go for it.
Go ahead. No, finish the point.
I was just gonna say that like that kind of gets into like one of the things I heard this week with a lot of companies now looking at like YouTube as their like streaming companies looking at YouTube as their biggest competitor, and Disney Plus was looking at making doing user generated content.
That'd be wild.
And so it's like there's a big push right now for companies to bring in user-generated content in some capacity as a kind of way to, not have to develop any premium content. But continue. I'm not saying that's what they're doing. But even so, continue as you.
I got you. I was gonna ask, what console? First and foremost, is Space Marine 2 gonna be crossplay? Because if it is, I'm getting it on PS5 and we're playing. If it isn't, then I'm getting it on PC and we're playing.
That's a good question. Let me ask. It is not going to be. It is not confirmed to crossplay. All you're gonna have to do is just load up, plug in a controller and load it up.
Yeah, I know. No problem. It'll be okay. But yeah, those are the 2 big releases that I'm at least counting on by the end of the year that I'm hype about. Kitten.
I'm like, you will accept the love from me, whether you want it or.
Evan, just a quick question for me. If it's too hard for the recording, don't worry about it. But is there a way I could just see you and not see me?
Oh yeah, no, I can. I can sort that out perfectly. Fine and dandy.
Don't get me wrong. I like looking at myself. I'm a little narcissistic, but I like looking at you more.
There you go. Better?
Boom. Much better. Thank you. I wanted to see the kitten more.
Yeah, this is Momo. He's a
and I mean, to all the fans, I don't know if anybody is watching live right now, but thank you so much for supporting us and not watching 2 geriatrics yell at each other, because that's going on right now.
Yeah, nah, that's I'm doing that tomorrow. I'm going to be doing I'm going to be reacting to that. I'm just gonna grab the VOD. Or fuck it, I might end up doing it tonight after we're done recording.
I mean, I won't lie. If you want to, I'd be down to jump on it with you. If you don't, no.
100%, but I do not want this rundown to be just that. If I'm being
No. This
like,
is definitely something separate.
Like if we do that, which we're probably gonna end up doing, ladies and gentlemen, in hindsight. Like we're gonna record this. We're gonna have like a 15-20 minute like go eat something and drink, piss, shit, all of that. I'm gonna go eat something real quick because I know that this next 2.5 hours of my life is going to be the Kendrick Drake Beef Special 2 Electric Boogaloo.
All over again. And hey, I gotta say, I am enjoying doing these dual streams with like an event going on. Because even 2 weeks ago with Summer Game Fest and all that shit, that was fun too. So I'm definitely enjoying this.
For sure, but we don't want the rundowns just to be like a React podcast all by themselves.
Definitely not.
But if I let me just pull up the HIMediaTV news update, the podcast I do for news.
Yo shit.
Yep. This actually that's more of a political nature. Let's pull up nerd news. I think nerd news would be a much more apt thing to pull topics from today because there's been a couple things.
Well, first thing I want to discuss prior to any possible topic pulls. Are you aware of this Dr. Disrespect situation?
Yes. Let us talk about it because here's the thing, right? Like I've never liked Dr. Disrespect.
I never consumed his content.
I consumed a little bit of his content, and I was not a fan. He always gave me kind of a
pedo vibe.
not a pedo vibe. He did get, but something pedo adjacent. He did give me like as like crypto right, crypto fash type of vibe. You know what I mean? Like he's like the type he's the type of person who, if he wasn't a live streamer, he just had a normal job, he'd be in one of those right wing Facebook groups promoting like hateful bullshit, like one of those types of things. You know what I mean?
I think his like public persona is that, and I think that's probably what drove both of us away. Because I definitely agree. I just don't know enough about the personal man to say definitively yes. If you know it, all good. Then yes, sure. But this shit is pissing me off so much because for 4 years, for 4 fucking years. And not anybody in the media's fault or even people working for Twitch. They were concerned about being sued. But for 4 years, everybody was holding on to the secret that this motherfucker, and excuse my language, I know we're less than 10 minutes in, but that this person, this streamer, was, I don't even want to go as far as to say victimizing minors, but what seemed to be the start of victimizing a minor through a very secret channel on Twitch that is no longer available, thank Christ.
You mean Whispers?
Yeah. Is Whisper still available?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dog, I get people whispering me all the fucking like random. I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like it is a tab up in the header of Twitch that I just don't fucking look at because.
Well, I don't know too much about Twitch, so I take it back about the Whisper thing.
That's fine. Continue. And here's the other thing, and I thought about this too. So I heard like I don't necessarily put any real fault at Twitch for like keeping it under wraps because anytime that you're putting that hey so and so did like this to a minor live stream like into the zeitgeist, people like it, putting out like a minor like issues with a minor for the minor's sake can be a little leery unless like they or their guardian like okay that is kind of rough. The second point I want to make is
just really quickly, just to comment on that. That's why I don't place any blame on Twitch either. I understand their position.
I'm a tier 1 twitch.tv/Amazon hater, but credit where credit's due. They ain't at fault this time. The only person at fault is Dr. Disrespect for playing stupid and saying saying
for 4 years.
For 4 years. And here's the thing, right? Here's my thing. And this is to everybody who's like with the controversy talking about like, he did X, Y, and Z. Like he like how old was she? Like who? Like all of, like asking all of these clarifying questions, and for like and trying to like do damage control all that shit. And I'm like, he, a married man with children, was
Tried coordinating with an underage person to meet at TwitchCon. It should be cut, simple, dry as that.
Exactly. Now, this minor, like this, there was obviously flirting and shit going on. Like, obviously. It wouldn't
self-admitted. That's the part that I'm also getting fucking mad at. This is just the aspect I didn't get to comment on. It's also, I'm so genuinely so aggravated at the fact that these people who had the balls to actually come out and say what the fuck was going on are now getting backlash and are now being called out for no reason because people are supporting a possible pedophile or whatever it is. And I'm like, is the brain rot of online persona so genuinely infected in the minds of I gotta make the argument this is young people, or at least people under the age of 30 who are doing this shit. So I don't know what the fuck to do, because I'm like, God forbid anybody who comes out on the internet ends up being a pedophile or whatever the case, child abuser, whatever you want to say. How do we find out? Because if they are in a situation where they are extremely sue happy, no company nor media presence is going to do the due diligence of getting this information out to the public until finally the person admits to their wrongdoing.
Yeah.
And that's a gross implication. Because if Diddy, here's the thing that I don't think people genuinely understand. If Diddy did the shit that he did, but then was also a YouTube streamer or a Twitch streamer, the amount of backlash that these victims would be going through, same thing with somebody like R. Kelly, fucking Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein, whatever you want to say. God forbid they become Twitch streamers. We have to deal with, people defending them now. What the fuck are we talking about? It's crazy.
So here's the difference, right? Why it's like why R. Kelly got off back in 03, like in the early, not 03, but like just the early 2000s, versus got nailed to the wall in like in the 2020s, has more to do. It has like more to do with like the brand recognition than anything else.
I hope you're right.
Who was R. Kelly back in like the early 2000s? The motherfucker that wrote "I Believe I Can Fly." This man was like
trapped in the closet. This
man was like 75% of all like listenable R&B in the fucking 90s. So this man was God. This was a god. Who was Diddy back in the 90s and 2000s? He was on Biggie Smalls' shit. He was on everybody's shit. He was a producer. He was being referenced in every song. He was everywhere. What was going on in 2020? R. Kelly ain't been seen high or low from in years.
Releases a song, says I did it.
Since Diddy comes out, what's Diddy up to? He owns I think Complex, maybe. He
even had to sell his shares of that. So I don't even think so anymore.
He's not doing the shows. He's not putting out albums. He's not doing anything. He's not connecting with his prior fans. He's just being a mogul.
But what I'm saying is,
I'm almost done.
I'm sorry.
One more thing, and then I'm done. I know, I'm rambling. And ultimately, when you are not a huge person, like at the forefront that people are aware of, or people are, or more importantly, people are fans of and are continual fans of and constantly interacting with. There's a reason why Harvey Weinstein got nailed, because all of the people that accused him, people liked more and knew more of than him. This is the reason why Twitch streamers and YouTubers like have such fervent defenders. It's because because of the way the algorithms and the way of the nature of how stream works is you have to constantly be putting yourself out there, and there's never any downtime that happens. Like you lose time is money. So yeah, of course, fucking, Diddy is not gonna like. People are not gonna fight Diddy on that, except for like right-wing manosphere bullshit. Trying just like hotep motherfuckers saying the white man's trying to put the black man down, that type of shit. It's which is the only people I've seen defending Diddy at this point. So that like it's
I don't know, man.
that.
I think what I'm saying is, if I had a platform, especially through YouTube or Twitch, I would definitely not open season, meaning physically, but open season in comment sections. If they see a motherfucker supporting this nigga, yo, demolish this kid, please. Do yourself a favor. Help us. That's all I'm trying to say. Because I think the outcome I'm trying to avoid is anytime that this happens with a YouTube streamer or Twitch streamer, I just don't want it to be brushed under the rug because of the backlash that they're facing.
By the way, you do actually, on an unrelated note, but related note, you do have a platform. It's called @no.2 Brian on YouTube.
You think I don't know? And I got some podcasts in goddamn stockpile that I'm not releasing until I have like 4 or 5, because I could already tell this is inconsistent as a mug. And that's on both of us.
Honestly, my thing is that ultimately, like, if we don't put out a podcast, I still got content coming down my gut through the pipeline. Normally,
I know that.
Normally for me, Mondays are when these come out on the channel, and I had other content go out on Monday, like normal, whatever. But yeah, I'm waiting for you to get that set up and sorted, so I can see you start doing some short content and growing your following.
Definitely get on that. As you know, my life was turned upside down last week, so
it is. We will talk about that off mic, possibly later on. But anyways, what else has been going on? Yeah, the presidential debate is tonight. Shadow of the Earth. Yeah, Shadow of the Earth Tree has just been my entire fucking life.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all I've been doing.
I heard that, man. I've been working and shit. Stuff's been going well, so I'm thankful for that.
Good. Night shift kicking your ass?
Nah, I'm a night person, so just geared to what I'm used to,
Yeah. Anyways, do you know how? So, just to talk about Elden Ring, because I'm going to talk about Elden Ring. That's all that's in my fucking brain. Otherwise, you're going to be the person bringing shit up and all that, because I'm just total Miyazaki built that person. You know how I love the progression in this DLC, like adding the Skadoo tree fragments. That's why I call them Skiminy tree, because like it's just like Skadoo, like Scud tree. Come on,
yeah,
like that. I don't know if something was lost in translation, like whatever, but
okay. Let's see. I'm trying to bring things up that have happened over the course of the week. I also don't like.
We got 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks. Remember, because yeah. By the way, the reason why Brian is sort of doing some like minor like background producing here is because I literally was playing Shadow of the Earth Tree until like 30 seconds before we hit the record button. Like I am a mess. I'm a disaster. I am incorrigible. Like I am.
Well, keep talking Elden Ring until I figure something out, because I got you, but it's just taking some time. Because all I'll talk about is Budokai Tenkaichi, if that's what people want to do. But I don't want this to be
you're so excited for that game, aren't you?
But I don't want this to be an hour torture of both of us just talking about our current gaming obsessions.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, ooh, we're just gonna be autistically info dumping for like an hour and a half.
Also, what the hell is wrong with my fucking roommate? Does she not understand what the fuck it means to shut a goddamn door? Look at this. Why is that open?
Oh no, the air conditioning.
My AC is on. Why?
Let me get up and close.
And I'm putting it in the group chat. I'll be right back. I gotta go close this door.
Yeah, that's one thing. Oh god, I just peeped something. Brian's going to lose his shit on this. Hold on. So, Brian,
I can't hear you. What?
Eddie Murphy reveals huge progress in multiple Shrek movies.
Uh-oh. Excuse me. God damn. Came out of nowhere. Yeah, I think miss me on this. Gonna be so honest.
I completely agree. I think one, classic, two, better than the first, three. Honestly, I think it was really fucking solid and would have been a great place to end the fucking series.
No, yeah, without a doubt. 4 was. Did 4 come out yet, or is that the one that they're waiting for?
Four was timey-wimey time travel bullshit.
Yeah, it should have just stayed with 3. It was really good with the triplets. It was a nice send off. Like, hey, everybody has their happy ever after.
Like,
Boom.
just regulate it to like Disney shorts and shit.
I know, but I have the AC on. Fuck off. I tell you that, you know.
Yeah, I know. But regardless, yeah.
No, something I could actually bring up of fucking value, so you and me are not just scraping the bottom of the barrel. The Bear came out this week. Got to be honest.
Wait, new season came out. Don't tell me shit. Me and Meadow need to watch it.
This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna spoil the first fucking episode because it's not anything. The first episode is a motherfucking montage, and if there's one thing good about The Bear, it's their dialogue and the increased feeling of anxiety, everything happening at once, especially in the kitchen scenes. That's what you watch the fucking show for. When you have such a strong dialogue team a year after the fucking strike of all writers and actors, you don't take 40 minutes to show everybody what New York looks like in a fucking convoluted, non-linear time montage. That's the only way I could say it, because I'm seeing articles now about how people are in love with this fucking episode, and for 40 minutes I was screaming at the fucking screen because I didn't want to listen to the same goddamn song over and over again. Second episode is very good. They come right back to where they're supposed to be, and it's perfectly executed. So I'm not saying don't watch it. Maybe just skip the first episode because there's not even a fucking line of dialogue that lends any information that is valuable. Everything that is discussed in the first episode of the season has been discussed since the first episode of the first season. Skip it if you can. That's all.
I will. I'm probably gonna watch it just because it's probably gonna do one of those artsy fartsy things where they like harken back to it and it all makes sense why all that shit's happening the way it was. So I'm gonna watch it just for safety's sake.
I hope so, because I was really upset about that first episode because, again, I love the essence of what The Bear is. It's my family personified in a fucking show, and I love it. And that goddamn dinner scene is just me and my grandparents.
I know. When I was watching
just
that,
me and my grandparents.
When me and Meadow watched that episode together, I said, "This reminds me of Brian's family." We were sitting in Chicago. At her Chicago apartment at the time, watching it, and I'm like, this reminds me of Brian's family. She's like, how so? Because this was before Christmas, but mind you, when I had Meadow on the phone with me, and like she heard the fucking fighting in the background at your house and shit. She's like, yeah.
Because I mean, also you got Jamie Lee Curtis, you got what's his name? Better Call Saul. Fuck. Bob Odenkirk as like the matriarch and the patriarch. Then you got fucking John Mulaney and John Berthal, and like, how could you not love that scene? That scene is so perfect and encapsulates dysfunctional, loud families perfectly. That's why I love this show as much as I do. Yeah. So.
But yeah, that's that is.
But very good so far. I've only seen the first 2 episodes, so I don't even have spoilers really to give you, but I wouldn't go into it anyway. I want people to watch it. Very great show. Speaking of shows, let me just say, This week in fucking history, we eating good, boy. We eating good. We got The Boys, we got The Bear, we got My Hero, we got Kaiju #8 finale and the Demon Slayer finale this week. I mean, I'm hyped. This is a great week.
You being a TV watcher, you must be eating.
Oh, eating good, baby, eating good. And I know you're not a big fan of him, but I just found this really funny. I think the interview is on YouTube somewhere. Do you know who Jiminy Glick is?
Never heard
It's
of him in my
Martin
life.
Short. It's Martin Short in like a fat bodysuit. He does really funny interviews. He roasts the fuck out of his guests. Bill Maher, because he released his book, had Jiminy Glick on his show. And for 10 or 15 minutes straight, he's just being roasted. And it's the greatest thing ever. I think it's the only thing I will ever suggest to you to watch from the Bill Maher show if you want to, because he gets
Make
roasted.
no mistake. It's like when Andrew Schultz went on there and like I heard about this. I never seen the clip, but it's like when Andrew Schultz went on and had to explain to Bill Maher how to make an edgy joke and not be racist.
Yep. Yep. And I mean, he just had Charlemagne the God on, and Charlemagne was like, yo, for real, you're doing more bad than good every time you say that college students are supporting Hamas. Like, you're an idiot for saying that. It's a total mischaracterization. So, it's crazy. I definitely agree with you.
Who the fuck is Bill Maher's audience at this point?
It has to be moderates who are gung-ho about Israel, who are fucking in love with Republican social issues, because genuinely outside of that, I don't know who the show is for. I mean, don't get me wrong, it
used to be for liberals. It used to be for like liberal people.
I know. Me and my grandmother back in the early 2000s, I used to stay up to 3 in the fucking morning watching that shit on HBO. Trust me, I know. That shit used to be for real fucking liberals. And then I don't know if it was Trump. I don't know if it was during the Obama era, but something fucking changed with the man. And he slowly but surely started going right, but also not right, because now right is the Trump brain rot, and even he's against that. And I'm like, then who are you for?
No. So here's the thing. Let's let me fucking be an extra real quick. All right, so let's pull something up briefly real quick, just so I can explain where Bill Maher is. He is right wing. He is a right winger. So let me explain how there's let's look at this. All right, so here's the line. Right, this is the line. Here, and sort of thing. These is your this is your right wing. This is the far right. This is the far left. The words for these are reactionary and revolutionary.
Okay.
Revolutionary people want to take a system, and this is just some quick poli-sci 101 bullshit, so bear with me. This is more for the viewers than for you. It is revolutionary people want to completely dismantle and rebuild a system from the ground up. It is revolutionary action. It is take it, that is what that is. Those are revolutionaries. Reactionaries are people who want to who are so steadfast in conserving and maintaining the status quo, or regressing to a prior idea that of what they think the past was when it was better, will do the same violent and oppressive actions as revolutionaries will, but instead of dismantling the system, it'll be to either keep it exactly. It's usually to regress it backwards. So revolutionary it's about dismantling the current system to move forward. Reactionary is about dismantling the current system to move backward. That is why generally revolutionary action is looked upon favorably. Revolutionary actions are people like the French Revolution, the American Revolution, the Arab Spring, things of that nature. That is all revolutionary action. That is generally looked at as good. There is a old form of government or status quo that is not good for people. They want to break it down and try something. That's why it's generally looked fondly at the street. Reactionaries are people that want to either conserve, amend, or regress the current status quo. These are your these are like your authoritative. These are your like heavily these are like authoritarianism can exist in both authoritarianism cannot exist in truly revolutionary action at certain points due to the fact that being on the left side of the spectrum, the further left you get, the more you prioritize freedom, well-being of community, collectivism, and things of that nature. So that doesn't really lend well to authoritarianism. So that's why when you have places like the USSR, the DPRK, North Korea, or any other self-described communist country or whatever, they're usually when if you remove the fact that they call themselves communists, they're functionally just authoritarian dictatorships. That's why some people might say that there has never been a real communist thing, because most of them don't exist, like have never existed in the way like the books say. So that's the far right, that's the far left. Your far right are your people like are your American revolutionaries, your French revolutionaries. The reactionaries are people like the Nazis and things of that nature. Your campus, like your people who are authoritarian, with like authoritarian aspirations, but they cloak it in a veneer of like left-wing ideology that looks that way. Then you have here's the center. These are your moderates. These are the people. These are people who are like pick a side. These people do not exist. They say they do. They actually don't. Here you have your Here you have your liberals. Here you have your conservatives. Your liberals are the people who, like, liberals and conservatives have more in common than a liberal has more in common with a conservative than they do a radical. Radicals are your progressives. These are, to put it in America's context, these are people who want, universal health care, higher minimum wage, strong unions, things of that nature. Things like decommoditized housing, things that are objectively good things for people broadly in community broadly, but is bad for the status quo.
I think I have every right to say this. I didn't consent to a full poli-sci course based off of Bill Maher. Is that reasonable?
Yeah, yes, but I don't respect consent for the next 10 minutes, so you're stuck with the shit. Versus conservatives,
right?
Versus conservatives versus conservatives who in theory shouldn't have much in common with ultra conservatives. So, give me 5 minutes. I'm almost done. The point I'm making is that in America, most people are here. Most people, by and large, are about from here to here. Your liberals are people who support social justice, and like they nominally are for like more like stronger like money being used for people, social welfare programs of that nature. By and large, for a lot of America's history, most of America was here. You have most Democrats are, especially on economic issues, are here. This shifts a little bit more probably to like here when you start talking about things like abortion, gay rights, and Black people being considered human beings, shit like that. Like, more like especially in today's day and age, people are more receptive to, not treating gay people like degenerate, like sexual degenerates. So why do I point that out? Because Bill Maher, nominally, even when he was on the air back then, he was here. This location here, this is where the lion's share of people who identify as Democrats, centrist Democrat, normal Democrats, and have money. Most people who have money and are Democrats are here. They don't hate black people. They just don't want them around. And they don't want black people to be treated like shit, but they just don't want them in their areas, and they also don't want to have higher taxes to pay for social programs for the poor.
But very quickly also, let's qualify that point during the early 2000s. That point is support of the Afghan and Iraq war. That point is against gay marriage currently in terms of that history. And what's it called? It was also a time in which Democrats were pretty more conservative about social programs than they are now.
That's because, and that in particular is because of Bill Clinton. Like Democrats since FDR were like here.
That's why you saw the meatpacking industry getting better, a lot of social programs, Social Security. It was constantly moving to the right.
90% corporate tax, which made it so companies would invest in pensions, work wages, and all that shit. R&D. It's the tax policy that FDR instituted led to the most prosperous continuous economic period in American history. And once, and that was only stopped, in large part due to OPEC and the gas shortages that plagued the Carter administration. So because of Bill Clinton got us here, and this is where this is where you get your Nancy Pelosi's, your smug. I know better than you because I think black people are humans and gay people deserve rights, but also but just don't be poor, like those types of people. And the thing is that everything I'm talking about here is the typical political understanding of things. Or this is like the American political. If you want to hear something fucking wild, Brian, take a look at this. You're gonna if you consider what international the political compass is, America. All of these points get shifted to the right. We have no revolutionaries. These don't exist in America. You might have some, but they're not like a constituency that's cared about. In reality, in America, these people are listened to heavily. But because everything shifts this way, these people don't get heard ever. These people are heard less than they would have been otherwise. These would have been your normal, in places like Germany, these people here, the radicals, would have been considered your far left, basically. You're your normal left, basically. The liberals are the liberals here are basically, if wanting universal, wanting higher wages, social protections for minorities and shit. These people are considered your normal left. These people are your fringe. These people are your left. So the people that want universal healthcare and decommodified housing and stuff like that, things that are points of view that are very well represented in other countries, are considered the fringe. The liberal people, these are your left. Your moderates become your liberals, and your conservatives become your moderates. So there's a reason why whenever somebody says they're a moderate and identifies as a moderate, I hear you're a conservative. Unless we get into detail about what you actually fucking believe, you're just a conservative, because that is what
you just end up doing exactly what Republicans accuse. I'm sorry. You just end up doing exactly what Democrats accuse Republicans of doing, though, because I'm like, you gotta understand that anybody affiliated with a party and inside of that group is probably just going to what's it called? Strengthen the arguments of other people in that group. I believe strongly in the individual and having individual conversation. I do.
Yeah.
And I strongly believe that being a moderate is a thing in this country, especially nowadays.
I'm not talking about parties, to be clear. I'm talking about political, like where you lean politically.
No, I know. And what I'm saying is, I think as we continue to keep going both ways, as the party themselves continue to go both ways, politically, we are constantly being pulled both directions. And we are constantly asking ourselves, are we a good example of this? Are we a good example of that? And I'm saying I genuinely don't believe in this not the political idealism you're talking about, but the political idealism of political parties and staying affiliated with them, and then broad stroking another side of it, especially when people are claiming that they are themselves are not a part of that side. You get what I'm saying?
So I want to be I get what you're saying, and I want to be very clear when I say this.
And I'm not talking about moderates use that as a. Go ahead.
Let's be very clear when, the idea of like being pulled to both sides are extreme. Let's remember what I just said at that political comments. What are the people on the left asking for? Like the people that are considered. Remember, the revolutionary people, the ones that want to like overthrow everything, they're not even considered. They don't exist.
Yeah, we're not even talking about it.
No, we're talking about the people that want a universal healthcare, or at the very least a public option, the government having a much higher percentage of control over the housing market, like maybe getting housing and urban development into landlording and making it so, if you need a house, you can just go make an application and get in there, rather than the convoluted system that we currently have of paying landlords whatever the fuck they ask for to use their housing for Section 8. You have people that want a strong labor rights, strong labor movement, and organized labor. You have people these are things that ostensibly, remember that what the radical section of the political spectrum wants is is not dismantling of the system, but changing it enough to make things better for the collective, for the community, for everyone. That these are not things that are these are not end goals that are harmful and lead people to be in worse places than they otherwise would have been. Like, it means more people are fed, more people are healthy. What is the right? What is the right? Go for it.
Way more people in this country have contradicting views when you go from political issue to political issue than they are fully Republican or fully Democrat or fully liberal. Or
I know that's not what I'm saying here. Oh, look, damn. So I'm banning the word Democrat, Republican from this.
Hold on. I just changed it from liberal to conservative. That's what I just said.
Yeah.
People can have a mix of liberal and conservative ideas, and that is in itself inherently moderatism.
Absolutely. But the thing is, here's the thing. Ultimately, I have a combination of right and left wing, but the question is, what comes it down to is, to where you lean is, how important is one political issue over another to you, and would voting for a Democrat be more likely to get that in, like a Democratic Party member get to do that, or would voting for a Republican Party member be more likely to get that? So, yes, you're right. It is true that people have left and right views, but that doesn't mean they're moderate. It can mean if they have an equal amount of right wing and left wing views. Cool. Most people will have some views. Some issues will be far more important than others in the things that in the way that they lean or the way that they vote. The amount of of people who voted for the Republican Party to overturn Roe v. Wade, even though a lot of these people live or like have to go to the co-op for farming. They are union members.
Nobody
All of
voted the people for that because it was the Supreme Court. Nobody votes to put people on the Supreme Court aside from Congress.
Brian, obviously, but this has been like I'm going to overturn Roe v. Wade has been the drum that has been beat by the Republican Party for years to get evangelicals and religious people on their side. There's like single issue voters are.
But time out. How many polls are done that even show that conservatives themselves don't even want full no abortion for women? Even among personally identified conservatives, abortion is a tricky issue because it seems to be an issue that Republicans could lose over in November. What I'm saying
is, if they do lose, that'll be a huge chunk of why.
And what I'm saying is the 30% of people in this country who right now today on June 27th, the day of the first debate, are still up in the air about voting Democrat or Republican in any election happening this November, because it's not only about the president, it's about local fucking politics and state level politics as well. The thing that I'm saying is that 30% has to at least be considered somewhat to be moderate, because if they're looking at both parties and they're looking at their own ideals and they're saying 30% of the country is saying I don't really know who I'm going back this time. And I get it. Everybody can make tons of arguments for whichever side is better. And obviously I agree that Biden is the better of two evils out of those two idiots. But genuinely, the feeling of we should not be in this position itself should be a litmus test for moderatism in this country. Because I'm willing to bet like 90% of the fucking people who are even willing to vote for Biden and Trump both are feeling that way.
I would love to have you take a political compass test, like an actual one, like where it's.
Like I have told you, and I told you a million times. And guess where I land every single time? And I know you won't believe me, but it's dead in the middle.
Was it one of those things where it also asked you how strongly you believe those things?
Yeah, like strongly agree, strongly disagree, agree, disagree, somewhat agree. Yes, like it baffles people, but I genuinely do believe in some Republican-esque ideas, more so in economy, way more than socially. I don't really agree with any social Republican ideas. Then socially, I'm very Democratic, and I believe very strongly in being able to do whatever the fuck you want to do.
I'm curious now. What are these Republican economic ideals that you're believing?
At a certain point, there should be there shouldn't be any what do they call it? Despot. That's not the right word. No. In terms of economic ideas, not how I think it should be ran. I definitely agree with some embargoes. I mean, genuinely, we're never going to be able to compete with China with the way that they deal with electric cars in their country versus ours. So genuinely, that's the only way to compete. That's what I'm.
Fair enough.
That's what I'm talking about in terms of conservative economic ideas. Not really.
Well, here's the thing. That you must have been asked a lot of different economic questions. So I give me another, because if that political compass test had you squarely as a moderate on it, let lay it all out, dead ass.
Well, I thought we weren't going to do politics for this hour because we were focusing on the debate, but no problem. I strongly believe. Now, obviously, I disagree with the practice of it, but I strongly believe in this is an economy, so let's just take that out for a second. Republican idea, right? I strongly believe in the death penalty for people who do heinous as fuck crimes. Now, obviously, there are examples where people who are innocent get put to the chair or the electric or whatever, or gas chamber. I definitely am not letting any discredit to that. The way that we do it, keeping them alive for 20, 30 plus years, wasting our tax money on it makes no sense to me. I won't disagree with that point at all. I am saying in a perfect world, in my fucked up head, I think death penalty for people who have committed horrible, heinous physical acts of crime should be put to death.
Agreed. But the only reason I say we should outlaw it in this country is because I have no fucking faith in the justice system to not.
This is my same argument against communism. Inherently, human beings cannot handle that responsibility. Human beings are not trustworthy. Therefore, I don't believe that anybody should say to anybody else that you are put to death unless they have concrete evidence. But then staying alive for 20, 30 years is insane. Same thing with believing that a human being at the top of any economic system would then say, hey, you know what? Those people also deserve equal, if not more. I genuinely don't believe that's a thing that human beings have the capacity to do.
Give me another economic thing.
Another economic thing in terms of new industry, I definitely believe that there should be, what we saw with Tesla in the beginning, and we should have way more, we should give way more grants and shit like that to burgeoning businesses. And I know you're going to say that's not really a political basis, political ideology based, but I would make the argument that is way more Republican-esque than it is Democratic-esque. Because
I mean, remember, so
we're also talking about original conservatism. So yes.
Well, so
not this bumblefuck conservativeness that we have going on in the country and the rest of the world, because the world is also being conserved by conservative movements.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot. I know this, so I want to see what if the would a 90% corporate tax rate be a good or a bad thing in the American within the way the American tax code is currently structured?
I believe genuinely if anybody tried putting forth Democrat, Republican, independent, who the fuck ever, if anybody tried to put up a 90% tax rate, nobody would support it. Nobody would support it, first and foremost.
Now, I'm not asking whether or not people would support it. I'm saying
it'd be a great.
Do you think it would be a good or a bad thing?
It would be a great idea, because then we would not see the disparaging amounts of money from CEO and upper management profits compared to lower management.
No. Here's the thing people misunderstand. Not you, but people in general. When you have a corporate tax rate that's 90%, the only people that in theory could get even paid, the only people that will get paid, you don't have to change a single thing. That is being the salary of thinking with the salary of all of the people in the C-suite. The only people who get paid less with a 90% tax rate is the shareholder class. And then you might say, but Evan, what about 401ks? When you have a 90% tax rate, you get pensions again. Pensions being part of the three-legged stool of retirement that is Social Security, 401ks, and pensions.
Let me ask this question. Would this be a conservative idea if the government, as a nameless entity, goes to all profitable companies, let's say making over like $1 billion in profit every year, and says, hey, we are proposing a 90% tax cut to every profitable business over $1 billion yearly in profit revenue, whatever the case may be, however you say that. But if you take that $1 billion and reinvest it not into the company, but into the pockets of your employees, hey, you ain't got to worry about taxes. Or we'll go back to the original tax plan that we always had. That's what I'm saying when I say conservative economic policy. Because sometimes it shouldn't be as simple as...
That would be a liberal policy, economic policy. And why do I say it's a liberal economic policy? Because...
You can make an argument for either one.
No. I'm doubling down on this. It could...
I will double down and say it is also a conservative movement.
It's not. Let me explain why. The reason why it's not is because conservative economics want as little tax as possible.
Yes, and you would receive as little tax as possible if following this specific thing.
and specifically, they wouldn't conservative the way conservative economic principle works is they don't actually care about wages. They care about making it so what the conservative economic policy would be if they wanted to give wages is they would want to cut taxes further and give government money to companies whenever if they were say they're going to like what Amazon did trying to make the second headquarters. The reason I say this
no, inherently hold on, pause. Inherently no. Because the only reason why Republicans rely so much on this idea of pulling yourself by the bootstraps is because they still believe in a day and age that doesn't exist anymore, where your wages, where your no, it did at a certain point, where your wages cover everything in terms of your life. That
time period was like the 1950s and 60s, which also had when you had the 90% tax rate. That was
even 70s and 80s for everybody but minority America. So that's what I'm saying. That's why.
Well, the thing is
that's why I think
that idealization of things is ultimately the product of left-wing economic policy. You don't get
I see what you're saying.
You don't get that by cutting taxes.
A part of the conservative movement is believing in the fact that there are wages that are supporting people through whatever, paying for their house, paying for their food, whatever the case. Obviously, me and you both agree that without democratic social programs, that shit would not exist. This is why I say that without a doubt, without the other hand washing the other hand, that nothing would actually get done in this country. That's why I'm not saying I am 100% Republican. That's why I'm not saying I believe wholeheartedly in conservatism. I'm just saying I'm a moderate because I obviously
I'm harping on what you said. Like, would that be a conservative? Like thing. It's not in the reason in which I never got to explain because was the reason why I said it's a liberal thing is because what a liberal will do is the thing you should do is yes, have a high tax rate on corporations. That's what you should do. That is the solution to a lot of the fucking problems. That would make businesses grow because they would be forced to spend more of their earnings back into the business. That would make tensions come back, so retirement becomes feasible again. It would also make it so wages were higher, so people have a higher quality of living. That boosts the economy. It's a bottom up. Whenever there's a reason with the pandemic, when you send out all those checks, it saved the fucking economy because when you support the economy from the bottom up, not the top down, you get economic growth. Yada yada yada. And the reason why I say it's a liberal
but it's conservative. It's conservative inherently because it's dealing with the profits of a company. It's not, and it's dealing with tax hikes versus tax cuts.
It is a liberal position. When I say liberal, I'm talking about right. Stop. When you hear liberal, stop thinking like fucking like AOC, all that bull. Like, stop it. When I say liberal, I'm talking about right of radical. The radical position is this is what will make things better. The liberal position here is we want these companies to do it of their own volition because we don't want to take the full step. That is the big criticism I have.
Well, then we could sit here. Hold on. Then we could sit here and argue about every single right or left policy. Hold on. Wait.
Yeah.
Don't say anything yet. Policy in America and how it compares to the grander scale of political ideology and that whole thing, where it fits on the line there. But nobody is doing that because genuinely original liberalism and original conservatism, let's not even talk about the two extremes on both ends, are barely existent, let alone not only in this country, but in the world. Everything now is new age politics. There is not a country in this world that runs off of old age political ideology, which is
also old age political ideology. Well, I mean, political ideologies are always changing. So, like, the idea of holding on to, like, old... Like, this is one of my biggest criticisms of some aspects of the left is they will always like they'll quote people like Marx and Engels and shit, like Foucault and all that bullshit, like fucking gospel. Like I don't care. I don't give a shit about the political ideologies of the past. All I know is that if we want to fix our economy and make it less shit, you tax companies at a fuck off amount at the expense of the like shareholder class, which is already the 1% of 1% anyways, because 1% of Americans own 70% of all stocks in existence. So you make more tax brackets past $336,000,
I definitely agree with that.
and then you just do a flat tax of like 10 to 15% for anybody earning more than, I don't know, $2 million a year. And then you use taxation as a way to prevent individuals or small groups of individuals of pooling their money or using their money to cause political change that affects the country negatively.
Well, I also want to say the discrepancy between what's allowed for the right and what's allowed for the left is continuously insane to me.
Yeah, the right is able to do like wild, heinous shit that even if a left wing person even did a fraction of the shit they do, like it would be like round the clock news. It's insane. The double standard. It's crazy.
I'm just genuinely scared about the prospect in the future of not having a second party to really pull the Democrats back. Because I'm not saying now they're okay. Nothing monumental is going on the Democratic side. It's definitely all on Republicanism. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying that conservative ideals do have some good points when you stay away from society and social issues, right?
Yeah. Can I be honest with you, bro? There's not like what would end up happening is that one of two things would happen. One, the left wing elements would come out into their own party, and you would have a new conservative leaning party, which would have been the original, like the centrist moderate Democrats versus or what ends up what was more likely to happen is the primary becomes the new general.
No,
which would be
I think you're wrong
because how the Democratic Party structures their primaries. That would. But
also, you and me both saw this happen in 2016 to Bernie. I do not agree with what you're saying. I think genuinely, if there is anybody to ever stir the pot, it's only going to be through the Republican Party, and that sucks because
what do you
can't
mean stir the pot.
What I mean is to have a Bernie Sanders-esque character. What I mean is to have have a Trump-esque character who, bear with me, not his ideas, not his rhetoric, not his feelings, not his craziness, but his ability to actually verbally say it, not actually do it, but to shake shit up, to change the party around a little bit so everybody isn't all drinking the Kool-Aid. And I think that's what's going on currently with the Democrats. They're all drinking this fucking Kool-Aid. Like, genuinely, you want me to believe that every Democrat believes Biden was the one and only true pick to beat fucking Trump. I get that he's been the only Democrat to do it so far, but he's been the only one with a real fucking shot because the other one was hated by everybody. So
who's the other one?
Hillary Clinton. So what are we talking about?
Yeah, here? Hillary Clinton was a raging bitch. I hate
nobody liked her. Nobody liked her.
She still opens her fucking mouth and she endorsed.
And it's the worst thing for Democrats. It's the worst fucking thing ever. They should throw her into a goddamn dungeon and never let her out.
No, absolutely, I agree. She's terrible. And here's the thing. And here I think is the big difference. I think, and here's ultimately why. I guess here's the thing. A firebrand coming out of the left would be very popular and would succeed. Bernie would have won if it wasn't for the nature of the Democratic Party's process.
Without a fucking doubt.
But here's the thing you also got to remember. Nina
Turner. And they did that shit to him again 2020. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nina Turner. I don't know if you know who that is, but she's a Justice Democrat type. she's she's progressive and she's really fucking smart. She's really fucking good, and she was running for Congress. The entirety. So, like, the two people running both knew the person whose seat she was going for had retired. Not only did
I think I did hear about this.
I think her opponent got damn near $1 billion.
Yeah,
in support trying to do it, like, because not only was the entirety of the Democratic Party donating money to Nina Turner's opponent in their primary, both Democrats, by the way, but also her opponent also on the got a obscene amount of money, like in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Republican Party.
This is why I'm saying what I'm saying about. This is why I've always said what I said about Democrats. They don't deserve the cheerleaders.
No, they don't.
They don't.
My biggest criticism of the Democrats is that they view the left wing as a bigger threat than the right wing,
because they know that the ideas are more popular right now.
They know that
I hope they changes.
No, it's not that they think that the Republicans, like, they because remember how I said, like, everything had shifted. The Democrats are closer in ideology. The moderate Democrats are conservatives for most things. They are closer, like,
I know,
and because they are conservatives, they are closer aligned with the ultra conservatives in the Republican Party than they are the radicals in
the Democrat Party. And that's exactly why I say that I don't blindly support Democrats just because Trump is a threat to democracy.
Yeah.
I think he genuinely is, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to support a either physically, mentally, or mentally weak man, and or a person who I genuinely don't think that he has the capacity to run the country for 4 more fucking years until he's 85.
Well, my thing is that, like, Biden is a couple years younger than Trump. First of all,
no, other way,
okay, and secondly, like, I'm like you. I don't support the Democratic Party, like, gung ho, but am I ever going to vote for a Republican again in my life? No, not while they are, like, as far as, like, not while they're representing conservative values. Never, not never.
What about?
And so, when it comes to the general election, who do you think I'm voting for?
If you move to a state where there was a Republican on election who was genuinely against Trump, and you move, I don't know why you would do this. I don't think you ever would, but you move to a red state. You knew it was Republican versus Republican or Republican versus Democrat, and the Democrat is talking mad, what's it called? Republican ass shit about taxes and whatever the fuck. You're genuinely saying that if the Republican had better talking points that you were aware of, you wouldn't?
It doesn't matter the talking points. It matters what his policy descriptions are. And here's the thing: like, if there's a Democrat, like not in the history of never in the past decade has a Democrat been further right than the Republican in the general. Now, here's the thing.
I'm just saying.
Here's my thing. What I would like it's an if that, like, in the hypothetical, sure, but my thing is that it's a hypothetical that's not even worth engaging in necessarily, because it's never.
Yeah, but are you not worried at some point that maybe we're going down the same track that the older generations have, and we see them being idiots about it now, but wouldn't it be fair to say that at one point they had the same perspective as you in this very moment? That's what the fuck I'm trying to say.
I mean, like, all of the baby boomers that would have been, leftists now and like left wings now, like, those people are either either
Well,
were
I'm
either
saying,
or they were either killed. They were either killed back in the day. Or by either political lunatics, or more realistically by being poor, and not and having health issues. The people that
and what
the
do you
people
have to
the
say?
boomers that are around today are the
Yeah.
ones that had that were primed in such a way to have a lot of money and own property and shit. The people that would like have my political views, they didn't fucking make it. They got chewed up by the system.
No, you're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying your perspective on your political view right now and how you don't think it will ever change and how you don't think you'll ever vote Republican in your life. Hold on.
Go for it.
Very quickly. I'm saying, don't you see any parallels between that and the stinking thinking of older generations who currently are saying, I have only ever voted Republican in my life. I have only ever voted Democrat in my life. And then I also just want to throw in this monkey wrench. What about all the people that started off voting for Obama 2 terms and then ended up with Trump? That's what I'm saying.
Well, the thing is that at the end of the day, the people like Trump, and Obama, both played on very strong human emotions. Obama played on the feeling of hope for a better future, and he didn't fucking deliver on that. And so when Trump comes along and starts playing on people's economic fears and other fears, they did that's the brakes,
And it says a lot about Biden's position right now and his condition more so than his position, because he was Obama's right hand man as that shit was going on. The fact that he can't truly,
he was drunk Uncle Joe.
I'm saying the fact that he truly cannot tug on the heartstrings of people and make them passionate about this election is what is driving me up the wall, and why I'm searching for an answer on why the Democrats have chosen this man to do it, who started off a lot like FDR, saying that he was going to be a one-term president.
So,
and I hope we don't get fucking Nancy Reagan. I'm not trying to have Carmelo run shit from the fucking shadows, or Jill Stein, or whoever the fuck it is.
Can I be honest with you?
Go ahead.
If Kamala, I think that me, I'm objective, right? Like I look at this shit through a no bullshit kind of way.
If Carmelo stays on as his running mate, I don't understand that.
I think ultimately he did bring her on because
for the clout points.
Yeah, for
the clout.
He wanted a black woman and all that shit. Fuck. The problem is that Joe Biden's politics, if we break it down to brass tacks, ignore the fact that he's a billion years old. Who gives a shit? Ultimately, I don't care that a Biden is a billion years old. I care about his policy prescriptions.
I care if he dies in the White House or not. I care genuinely about that. Is that a fair thing to care about?
Yeah, that is a fair thing to care about.
That doesn't mean I'm voting Trump. I'm just saying, genuinely.
But my thing is that, ultimately, if he dies, so be it. If I look at his policy prescription versus Kamala Harris's, let's look at this objectively, right? Biden, while in office, has empowered the National Labor Relations Board, all of the union shit. I'm not going to bore you with that. You already know I spiel about it. He has forgiven $1 billion in student loan debt so far. I think more. But I think that was 6 months ago. He has added a pathway to citizenship and expanded the options for citizenship for the spouses of American citizens. So
it's another thing, immigration. That's a hard one for Democrats this fucking season.
Yeah, but the thing is that we'll watch it here after we're done this. But I can't wait to see Trump try to go after Biden on the border, because Biden just continued his policies and doubled, tripled, and quadrupled down on them. He has been vicious at the border. I'm not happy with it, but my thing is that all of the economic stuff that he's done, then all of the relief for the lower class that he's done, like economically, kind of has me overlooking like the immigration shit and don't tell anybody. Kind of like my thing is that ultimately domestic issues are the things that win elections. Biden, has done a lot of really good shit for the lower and middle class. So and also the polling that we have, the polling methods that we're currently using for political polling is notoriously bad and has been shown time and time again to not be representative whatsoever of like what ends up happening.
I remember when fucking Trump won, that every fucking poll was like, he's never gonna win, not even close. Ah, bah, 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 bah.
Yeah. So like the polling has on average showing like polling, no matter who does it, has a Republican back.
But I'm just gonna say
so I don't
real
think
quick, every base that the Democrats are usually relying on, Hispanics, young voters, college educated, whatever you want to say. Even though, yes, I'll agree, the polls are gravely mistaken, probably because it's voluntary. It requires a volunteer, and that automatically fucks up statistics in any goddamn study you're doing. I'm just saying he seems to be continuously unpopular to the people that he is pandering to. And I think he needs to stop fucking pandering. I think he needs to start bragging. Because I agree with you. He's done so many genuinely good things for this country. Still, I don't truthfully, I'm not excited about him as a candidate. But yes, he's done
he
good
is the
political
most
things.
left-wing president in our lifetime.
But he's too fucking finicky. He's perceived to be too fragile, and he's not doubling down when that's what people want to see of him. He should be pandering to the people who are undecided, not the people that are pretty much going to vote for him or are going to go to Trump, but those are the outliers of that subgroup, right? I'm saying, why isn't he going after the 30% of people who genuinely are still confused, even after Trump got fucking accused of 34 felonies? Like, what are we discussing here? What are we talking about?
I think
I hope tonight that we see in this debate, I hope we see somebody. I'm saying regarding Biden, I hope we see somebody that was adjacent to his State of the Union address, because that was an example of somebody who was strong enough to run a fucking country. He is not dealing with these things head on, and that shows a lot of fear.
I hope Biden had a big meal for lunch, took a long fucking nap, and then woke
got
up
that great drug cocktail, whatever the fuck they pumped into him.
Yeah. So I think the last thing I'll say before we start wrapping up tonight's episode, and then go take our quick sabbatical real quick to go take care of bodily needs before we do this fucking run back of the debate, is I think, and this is only the last thing I'll say on the politics. The only thing that I think the only thing, just from my analysis, that will cause Biden to lose the election this November will be lack of Trump. I think ultimately the fact that that Americans don't give a shit about nobody who voted for Biden last time is going to vote for Trump this time. So I think the only reason why Biden would lose this election, it would basically be on a larger scale, like of the New York 16 race between Latimer and Bowman, where Bowman lost by I think of 5,000 votes, but the amount of people who voted in that election was half of the amount of people who voted in the previous election. That's exactly
what happened in the 2016 general election for the presidency.
Democrats don't show up, Republicans win.
And what I'm saying
Democrats have the numbers. Republicans
and
don't.
what I'm saying is, I hope that Biden has put enough faith in people to make them come out. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I hope so. I think the word I tell people, like, hey, listen, I understand you're not going to vote for Biden and you can't because of genocide in Palestine going on, but still go out and vote. Just do a write in, like your mom's name or something for the presidency, make sure you still need to vote down ballot because that's also important. Like that's the thing I stress at this point. Like I'm not going to advocate for Biden for people who just don't want to fucking hear that, but I am going to advocate for still showing up on voting day. Because if you don't show up on voting, because like here's the thing, like worst case scenario, Biden loses because nobody fucking votes for it, but enough people still showed up on fucking like voting day to like put, I don't know, Democrats in every other aspect of government, so they can just immediately like say pass a fucking law that allows Congress to fucking like sanction the fucking president when he starts actively breaking the rules of the Constitution.
You'll probably hate me for this, but genuinely, if you live in a usually red or blue state, do you really have to? Because like my thing is, I'm in LA. There is no way
you vote in the primary.
No way.
The purpose of the listen, general doesn't like. That's why like when I say like it's the primary that matters.
Unless you care about local election. If you care about local election, vote in every single election every single 2 years. But if you're only really worried about the president ever, and you live, consistently in a red or blue state, I don't make the argument that you have to vote irregardless of the person.
I get where you're coming from with that. I fundamentally disagree simply because if you have enough people that don't, if enough people think like that,
then I'll say this: vote only if you think the person you're voting for is actually eligible for that position. How about that?
I would say vote period, because the amount of fucking people who have fought and died. So, people have the ability.
I'm sorry, that doesn't matter. In terms of when the election is constantly two sides of the same evil coin, just one of them is slightly less evil than the other, voting no longer has the patriotism.
I want to be very clear. The Biden is shit. He's not evil. He's shit.
I'm standing by what I said, though.
I know. I'm just saying what you said was wrong. So,
but if you have the perception that they're both two sides of the same bullshit coin, then you should vote for neither one.
And that is the perception and that perception is a big reason why why left-wing people aren't able to fucking mobilize in this country. So, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Rundown episode 17, I think. This is
yes, I think so.
Don't quote me on that. If you want to support the show, if you want to or hang out with me and Brian and stuff, you can do it so by joining our Discord at HIMediaTV/Discord, or hit the join community link in the description. You can find Brian on YouTube at no.2Brian, all lowercase. And you can find me, in my YouTube channel, which is how you're probably watching this. I mean, there's podcast versions of this wherever you find your podcasts, but I don't know. I don't know. Brian's attractive, and I put production effort into this, so you might as well just watch it on YouTube.
This is also episode 17.
But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for watching. We appreciate you, your time, and your viewership. Give me money at himedia.gg/tip, and we will see you guys next time.